Welcome to a new hand from Game of Gold. We're playing 10,000, 20,000 with a 10,000 big blind ante and about 1.2 million effective stack, so roughly 60 big blinds. Here's the setup. Maria Ho opens under the gun to 50,000, which is 2.5 big blinds, holding Queen 8 suited. Totally reasonable. Lucas Robinson, Robin Poker, calls on the button with pocket sixes. Now it's the small blind's turn to act. Yo Viral looks down at ace-10 offsuit. And if we pull up the Analyze and Explain window, the solver is pretty clear. This is a fold most of the time, especially when you're the shortest stack out of position, facing an open and a call. Your equity and playability from the small blind just aren't great in this exact setup. But Yo being Yo, he calls anyway. And then Daniel Negreanu, in the big blind with Queen 8 of hearts, decides to come along as well. So we go to the flop 4 ways, and yes, it starts to feel like a 1-2 cash game. All right, let's go to the flop. The flop comes ace of diamonds, king of diamonds, 9 of spades. Yo Viral flops top pair, and then he does something you almost never see in solver land. He donk bets 1 big blind. This is not a standard play, but Yo Viral does it anyway. Just look at the explain window. It's clear. There is no donk bet here, and certainly not for 1 big blind. Now let's see how the table responds. Both of the Queen 8s fold, and Robinson is the one who continues, calling with sixes. And at first glance, this looks optimistic. But here's the key. He only has to put in 1 big blind to try to win a pot of roughly 12.5 big blinds. So if Yo Viral ever checks it down with some random hand like Queen Jack, or if Robinson spikes a 6, this can go very, very well for him. He's getting insane pot odds. I know some players and commentators will say, what in the world is he doing? But when your opponent bets 1 big blind, you're closing the action. It's going heads up and you have outs. You really shouldn't be folding very often. So honestly, I don't hate the call. All right, let's go to the turn. The turn is the 6 of diamonds. Now let's take a look at the hand evaluation for Yo Viral's ace-10 offsuit on this board. Yes, he still has top pair, but that's basically it. He has 2 outs to make trips, the 2 remaining aces, and 3 10s to make 2 pair. But the big story is that the diamond flush just completed, and that changes everything. Now let's look at the explain window. Once that flush comes in, the solver says we should mostly check here. And if we ever bet, we definitely don't bet big, because better hands will call us comfortably, and any hand with 1 diamond, and especially 2 diamonds, can put us in a terrible spot. And if villain already has a made flush, they can easily raise right now. So the correct line is, check most of the time. But that's not what Yo Viral does. The turn is the 6 of diamonds. Not exactly the 6 Robinson wanted, but it'll do. Yo Viral thinks for a while, and then fires 140,000 into the 250,000 pot. I really think this is a spot where Yo Viral should just check, because that diamond is a brutal card for his specific hand. And I do think he can reasonably check and call a lot of bets here. But instead, he goes for value. Fine. Now let's see what Robinson does, holding a set of 6s. And here's the key question. What would you do if we switch the hero position to Robinson on the button with a set of 6s? Well, with a set of 6s, but with 3 diamonds on board, Robinson is in a tricky spot. Yes, he's strong, but the flush is now very real. So in this exact situation, Robinson should call most of the time. He's in position, he has a solid chunk of equity, roughly around 40%. And the important point is this, you don't want to raise here. If you raise, most worse hands fold, like 1 pair hands and bluffs, so you lose value. And the hands that continue are the hands that crush you, made flushes, and sometimes strong diamond draws that can put you in terrible shape. So the best line is call, keep the pot controlled, and reevaluate the river in position. And that's exactly what Robinson does. He calls. All right, let's go to the river. The river is the 10 of spades, and Yo Viral now makes a tiny bet, 60,000 into a 530,000 pot. That's what, about 3 big blinds. So now it's back to Robinson. After this tiny river bet, what should Robinson do with his set of sixes? Pause the video, think about it, and when you're ready, hit play to continue. Welcome back. I know a lot of you, including his teammates, and even people like Jonathan Little, who reviewed this hand, are thinking, what? He only called? That can't be right. He should raise. But let's slow down and look at the hand evaluation. Yes, Robinson has a set of sixes, but look at how many hands can beat him on this runout. Better sets are possible. Broadway straights can get there, any queen jack. The 10 high straight is also possible with 7-8, making 6-7, 8-9, 10. And of course, there are a lot of diamond flush combinations, roughly 45 combos. So altogether, you're looking at something like almost 90 combinations that can beat a set here. That's a lot. Now let's open the explain window. The solver's logic is, this is mostly a call. Yes, our hand is strong, but it's not a clear value raise, because if we raise, what happens? Worse hands usually fold, and better hands, straights, flushes, better sets, can call or even re-raise, putting us in a terrible spot. Also, this tiny 3 big blind lead from Yo Viral is often a classic blocker bet. Even if he improved to 2 pair on the river, this sizing often means, I want a cheap showdown, and I don't love my hand. And notice, Yo Viral doesn't have a diamond, so he's very aware that the flush is out there. He's probably thinking, what is Robinson calling me with? So overall, the solver prefers call the vast majority of the time, something like 80+%. You're never folding, the price is too good, but you also don't raise very often. And that's exactly what happened. In real life, Robinson just called and won the hand. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next Game of Gold hand.